So in this video, I'll be sharing with you a little more about how I follow my intuition and some ways that you can start to build trust with yourself and following the smallest hints that you receive throughout your day. So let's jump right into it. So yeah, the other day I was feeling called like to record a video, and I was like, well, should I just like bring my phone outside and put it in the tripod and start to record it? And then I was like, let's just like pull. I felt the impression to grab my deck and pull a card, right? And I pulled this card, which is the Hanged Muse. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see it. And when I pulled this card and I read the message, right? But like when you see this card, you can just like notice that, oh, this muse, she's hanging like into this cord, you know, just this rope, and she's not looking down. She's trying to look up, and she's trying to hold tight into all the stories, all the limiting beliefs. She's trying to hold into all the older perceptions. She's trying to hold into too much of what she knows, right? And she is not looking down, and she's not exploring all the other possibilities because she's hanging tight into this rope. She's hanging tight into an idea that, and maybe a story that she's hanging to, because she cannot see all the possibilities, all the doors, and all the light, and all the mountains that she has the ability to climb, right? And when I pulled this card, I felt inspired. Okay, so I felt inspired to go on an adventure, right? And I do really love when this happens. I really love when I allow myself to get into my car and go somewhere unknown, go to a place that I just feel called to go. Like, and even like before I leave the house, sometimes I that is an exercise that I do to give that part of me, give my intuition and that's how I build the trust with my intuition, right? I allow my intuition to give me the impressions, and I do act upon them, right? So that day, I hopped into my car, and I felt called to go to this park close to my house. Like, what, I didn't know that before. Like, I jumped to my car, and when I got into my car, I felt, the place that I'm driving to right now is the park near to my house. It's called, I'm gonna put the name right down here, I forgot the name, is the Lava something. But then I drove to this place, right? And when I got there, I was recording a video, right? I was getting out of my car, I was recording a video, and when I was jumping out of my car, this lady started to call me. She was like, hey, hello, would you like some papaya? I have so many papayas here, and I have like, I don't know what else to do with it. I just want to give as much as I can to people. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I took 2 papayas because at that time I had this definition, and I had this story, and I had this this part of me that had tried papaya in the past when I was a child, right? And back then my taste was totally different. Like, I didn't like papaya at all. Like, the texture was like really was a turn off to me. I didn't like it. And so and then after that, like, I maybe like my mom or my aunt, they were like, hey, try some papaya, like try to eat that. And then I didn't like it. And after that, my definition was like, I don't know if they defined me, they gave me the definition, or I was the one that gave myself the definition that, oh, I just don't like papaya. So I spent my whole life, like, everyone would like, hey, do you want some? And like when we are out, you know, like when we're with friends, and I'm like, oh no, I just don't like papaya. And that was like something that I didn't like, right? And then this day, I was at the parking lot, and this lady, she offered me, and I took two because, right, I'm not a big fan at that point. And the funny story behind it is that a few days ago, I think a week ago, I was thinking, like, I got this impression, like, oh, I should reach out to a friend of mine who has a papaya tree, because I was feeling like I really wanted to try papaya again and see if I like it. Maybe my taste has changed, like my appreciation for different tastes and textures, they might have changed, right? Because we are all changing all the time. We are changing all the time. So I felt the impression to reach out to this friend and ask him for a papaya to try. But then, like, I was a few days later, I was at this parking lot, and the lady, she offered me like papayas because she had an abundance of papayas. And at the moment, I felt like so much abundant. I felt like so much gratitude, and I felt so taken care of and provided, because that is something that I feel we are here in the island, is that everyone has always like an abundance of something. They have always an abundance of fruit, of vegetables, or things that they love to share with others, right? And at the moment when I was like in that experience with that woman, I received the papayas, right? And I felt so much gratitude for it. And I felt so much loved, and I wanted to share that love with people, and I reach out in my Instagram and I share some love with others, right? I just send them some love and light. But and then I kept going on this adventure, right? I explored the park, and I was sitting at this cute little shed, and I was like trying to meditate, because I was like, oh, like I'm here in nature, like let me just like sit down here and tune in and meditate. But as I was sitting there, I noticed that my body didn't want to sit down still and meditate. So my body started to just move. And when my body started to move, I that was like this voice in my head. It was like, oh, I might just like want to dance. And that was not what happened. What I started to do was to just play. I was playing with everything that I was surrounded by. I was playing with the walls. I was playing with the floor. I was tapping into a playful energy. And it felt really amazing. I felt really great. And I felt the impression to record it, and I did it. And then after that, I started to just like walk through the park and like going on the rest of my journey, like on the day. So I went to the grocery store, and then I picked up my favorite snacks, right? Which at the moment was some McNuts and some plums. That is something that I was really digging and was really loving that day. Actually, talking about that right now makes me feel like I really want to have some. Maybe I will go to the store and grab some later. Anyways, so the point here is that then I felt like I was going to record this video last week, and I ended up not doing it because I ended up posting on my Instagram, right? And I feel like that took all my energy. I was interacting with the people that were getting back to me, and I was having some interaction that way on my Instagram, and then so I ended up not recording this video, and I ended up not posting on my YouTube channel last week. So and then and then I ended up not posting on my YouTube last week. And I was, at the moment I was like, I was feeling kind of like I should have posted, because I committed to post every week, and if I don't post, I'm gonna be out of my commitment, right? But I did post on my Instagram, and I still created the content, right? But I share it in a different platform, which is still like me being still in my commitment. So and so that is not the point of the story, but the point of the story is that when I posted the video on my Instagram, I realized that back at the moment, I didn't, like, when I first posted about this lady offering me some papaya and feeling all the abundance, and feeling abundant, and sharing love with others, and sharing that with others, and I didn't know what the lesson, I still didn't know, like, what was the purpose behind me posting that video, right? And like, well, the first intention was to share love, right, and share the abundance that I was feeling at the moment. Then I felt the impression to share the afterwards, because I shared on the video that I posted that I didn't like papayas, right? So I perceived that as, oh, and then I had some people like telling me certain things to do, like you can try papaya with this, and you can try papaya with that, and then some people were relating to the thing that I've shared, which was not liking papaya, and they were like, oh yeah, I also don't like papaya, and I have never liked it really, and they were like, I might do the same thing now and try to see if now like my taste has changed, right? The things that I used to not like has changed. Thank you for sharing that. And so I received like really good feedback from people from posting that video, and then I decided to also record another video of me actually trying the papaya, and and ended up that I took the first bite, and when I took the first bite, the taste was like, it was weird, was like different, right? And so like I could have had a reaction where I could be like, yeah, see, that's why I don't like it. I don't like this taste, I don't like this texture. But at that moment, what, like, the impression that I felt was that okay, the texture is different, the taste is a little different, and of course it is. I haven't eaten that in like 32 years. Like, I have tried that as a child, and then after that I didn't try anymore because I didn't like it, right? So, and then like I was like, oh, okay, so let's take another bite and see how it goes. So the second bite was, oh, okay, it has its own taste, has its own texture, and all right. And then let me take another bite. And then I took another bite. But by the third bite, I was like, oh, it actually tastes good. And I actually kind of like it. I kind of like it. And then after I finished that, I ate the whole papaya, and it was really good. And I'm like now like looking around and see if I hello if I find more papayas, right? Because I ended up really liking it, and that is something that I want to continue to eat. And so the whole story is not just that, oh, I want to share this video of me eating this papaya and seeing that I don't like, oh, that I actually now like it right now, right? And the whole point was that but back when I was doing it, when I was posting it, I didn't know like what the context of it all it was. And but by me going through step by step made me come to the realization that sometimes we define ourselves as someone or something based on a past experience that have happened in the past, based on something that someone said, based on assumptions from others being projected into us, and then we take that as our own, right? And we ended up living our lives not trying new things, not doing certain things because we have all those definitions that are defining us as someone that doesn't do X, Y, and Z, because that's not who they are, right? And so when I realized, so like when I finished, when I posted that and I was writing the description of the video, I started to realize and I started to share what that really meant to me, which was that sometimes we are attached to behaviors, addictions, or ways of being where we don't allow ourselves to do certain things or be something or be someone based on our past definitions that it's keeping us from exploring so much more and so many other things and learn about ourselves. And through that whole day and through that whole experience and having the conversation with people and all of it helped me to learn this lesson and realize that I don't have to allow myself, I don't need to keep myself confined in a belief or something, or be afraid of trying different things or do things differently because of past perceptions or past definitions that have been ruling my life and keeping me from trying different things. And the thing is that sometimes at the beginning, like some certain things are not going to be pleasant because first of all, it's new, right? It's something totally new to you. For example, let's give the example of the papaya. I could have just given up and say that I didn't like it because of the taste, because of that first bite, because it was unusual, it was different, it was something totally different to my usual taste, right? With the things that I'm usual to eat. So at the time, I decided to change that. I decided to keep going and try again. And so we can do that same thing with anything in our lives. If the first experience doesn't turn out the way that we were expecting it to happen or to be, and if it's unpleasant, what if the unpleasant whatever, like feeling or emotion or whatever the unpleasant is just us being in the unknown and in the uncomfortable, right? But if we push through and we try a couple more times, we might be able to break through like the threshold and be able to actually see that we actually are capable of doing this. We're capable of being someone that does X, Y, and Z, or that eats. Or I see so many people not eating nuts, right? Because they have been diagnosed with allergy, and they keep pushing those nuts, right, away from them because it's allergic. They have allergy to gluten, so they keep pushing the things away instead of confronting. And what is it really behind that? Not that, right? That definition, like what is it really behind it? And you can change that. You don't have to be tied to an allergy forever, right? We can change things, and we are always evolving and changing and growing, and you don't have to be defined by things that have happened in the past, or symptoms that have happened in the past. You have the ability to pursue and change that if you want to, right? And that is my experience, and I like to challenge myself, and I like to be able to create the life that I want to live and to do the things that I feel that I want to do. And so, like, let's just end this video, and I want to share with you that um, sometimes your intuition, the signs that you get is so subtle, but if you allow yourself, if you give yourself the permission to follow something that might seem unusual to you, like why would I be doing that? Why would I go to this place if I can just go to somewhere that it's right? It's more likely that I can get what I want. But sometimes, like, we go places, we go on autopilot, right? Because we are used to doing certain things, so we go to these places that we are used to, and we sometimes, well, I'm talking about me, but I don't know if you feel also the same way, but like, we have these specific places that we go to and it feels comfortable. But what if our intuition is helping us see that we can feel comfortable and we can do things differently and experience different things that is gonna lead us to a result that we were seeking, right? Because if that thought was in my subconscious, like about papayas, about wanting to try papaya, like, and see if I liked it, and if I wouldn't have gone on that little adventure that day, I wouldn't have crossed path with that woman, and I wouldn't be able to have learned that lesson and see that I don't have to be tied to any definitions from my past. And so it's the same thing to you. And my intention is that you are able to take something away from this video. If you haven't yet, I challenge you to follow the small impressions that you get throughout your day. And now I just want to finish giving you, like, reading the description of this card, because it really goes well with all this experience that I went through that day, right? And it always started with following the impressions that I was feeling, following my intuition. And so the Hanged Muse, the keywords is flipping your perspective, seeing things anew, being in flow with the universe, letting go, new points of view and knowledge, and being empathic and understanding, and spiritual lessons. And the prompt is insightful exposure. So I'm gonna read the little text that it says, the Hanged Muse, she floats up to the top of the world and hooks her knees around the timeline of her journey. She is long overdue for this pause, and things below had been gaining a great deal of out of controlness as of late. With a deep breath in, she sinks into timeliness to enjoy this moment, this gift. She lets go of trying to control it all and allows the truth to float to the surface of her awareness. Whatever wisdom she will be gifted here today will be implemented later. The Hanged Muse asks you to take a bird's eye glimpse of your life. Reach out over many years, pinpointing the things you cannot change. Let them go. Remember that you see through the lens of your own stories, fashioned only by your perceptions and experiences. When you gift yourself the liberty of malleable thinking, you can change your reality with a simple swing of the timeline of life. So, I don't know if you listened to my video, but if you did, and you can put things together like I I did. You can see the message behind what happened that day, right? And like what intuition was trying to show me and trying to teach me was to flow more and not be hanging into old stories or old perceptions and old experiences that I have had in the past. So that's my invitation for you, to you, is to pay attention to the own old perceptions and old experiences that you have been hanging to, trying afraid to letting it go. And what if you could just let it go of them for today? And yes, I really hope that you have a beautiful day today, and I hope to see you another day. Thank you so much. Much love.